Looking good and good afternoon. I'm chilling, having some coffee, watching the news. And so if I'm chilling watching the news, I thought I would share, so welcome. Bring your coffee. Bonus for donuts. And I hope you all are having a great Saturday. Hey, Raw. I actually got affiliate like 10 months ago. But thank you, dude. I miss you. Yeah, that was Warband. Dude, good afternoon. Warband did. I thought that was you in the chat room. Yeah, they offered me affiliate 10 months ago, but you'll laugh because I really didn't even really realize it. But I looked and apparently I started the process like last April, but I never finished it. Yeah, actually I did. I posted it right on my Discord. It showed that where they offered me the affiliate and everything back in last April. But like I said, I never finished the sign-up process, but I was affiliated. No worries at all. I just didn't finish the tax information. Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. I didn't finish the, whatever it is that we do, like W-9 or something. Because I needed to check and make sure that, and so what my friend who is a financial investigator for the FBI told me is that I don't need permission from Social Security to do an affiliation unless I'm making like more than $600 or $1,000, and you know I won't be making that for a long time, if ever. Yeah, dude. Dude, everyone misses you. Ellie was asking about you, and who else was asking about you? Ellie, Doug, oh, and Otto Von Noob, and Marilyn Defoe. So I hope you're okay, man. This war's freaking me out. NORAD, dude, it's hilarious. Do you remember that film? Yeah. Yeah, we're all wondering. We're all hoping that you're all good. And so I hope things are good. And what's happening, Holmes? Hey, hey. Raw, we miss you, bro. Awesome. Are you really his little brother? Like, for real? You're ever in Pensy, you know my door's open. Dude, then that means I have to adopt you too. I've always wanted a son named Jack, so you know, I had to adopt him. So he's officially half American now. Right on. And Raul, have you, I'm sure you have, dude, I'm sure you have played this Star Wars Conquest New Order edition. It's got some weird little tiny bugs in it, but it's freaking awesome. You know, and I'm not like a big Star Wars, I'm not the biggest Star Wars expert or anything, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It's so cool. Well, thanks, man. It's actually from another game. I use a lot. Yeah, that's what I thought you probably had. And I'd never played it, dude. I'd never played it at all. Right? And I mean, I've seen the Star Wars films like the next guy, but, you know, I would pick your brain if I needed to know something about Star Wars. Yeah, dude, the latest version that I got is from October of 2020, and it works really good. I mean, like I said, it's got some real minor bugs in it, but it's got like a bank bug, but I'm enjoying the shit out of it, man. It's so cool. And Big Holmes, welcome, man. Yeah, it's a miracle, isn't it? How I can do design. You know, some people can do some things, and some people can do other things. I've been doing design my whole life, but I don't know. Some things I can't do. You know, I don't know. I'm trying. I'm trying. I've created the Mandalorian faction, and my goal is to take back the Mandalorian planets. The Empire is just kicking everyone's ass except for Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what big bugs. Yeah, I'm kind of right on, Holmes. I'm kind of wondering, like, because there's a bank bug, dude. Like, I'll put 10,000 in the bank or 5,000 in the bank. I'll go back a week later. It says I owe him 33 trillion, and then I have to go into the save file and then change it back to zero. Yeah, yeah. I was fighting for the Hutts. I was fighting for the Hutts. You know, I'd love to see that finished. I would love to see the textures done and updated. The textures aren't really hard. That's something I could do. But all the programming and stuff, that's beyond my ability. Yeah, exactly. It like turns into a negative. I put 5,000 in the bank for a rainy day for when I get wiped out. I go back, it says I owe him 33 million or something. I was like, wow, that's a bug. And then like when you, like there's one of your patrols and they're engaging a bandit or a pirate, and then you help them. You help the patrol, or like let's say you help Yoda in a fight, or you help whoever in a fight. They will give you the wrong dialogue. They'll give you the dialogue for the patrol, the enemy patrol, and it'll say you're under arrest when actually you just help them and you don't get any buddy points. You don't get any relationship points. And those are kind of minor. I can deal with those. I also noticed the stormtroopers are so hard, and like Darth Vader and the Emperor are probably the toughest characters in the whole game, but that makes it challenging. I'm thrilled with it, man. I think it's so cool, you know, something new and different. And I was always looking for something that was Star Wars, right? Or not Star Wars, but anything kind of sci-fi. But because I like the Warband game format. I like the way Warband is. Where a lot of games I play, I don't like the way they are. But I like the way the Warband rolls. But now there's like something sci-fi, and that's so cool, you know? Man, I'm so freaking tired, and I'm doing all right. I'm watching these cams, and it's insane, the war. And Raw, so I'm migrating since we last spoke. I am in the process of migrating all of my scenes and my designs from Twitch, I'm talking slow, Twitch to Stream Elements. And so at the same time, I'm optimizing my scenes that I had on Twitch. And so when I'm rebuilding all of my scenes for my mods and games on Stream Elements, I'm optimizing things. So things are running a lot faster. And so things should be loading faster. The other thing is I've gotten at least a 50% performance increase by switching to Stream Elements. Once, and I talked to you about my i5 versus my i7. Yeah, that's what I'm using, dude, and it's like super fast. It's like the performance difference. What's the word I'm looking for? I monitored it. My performance was like 50% increase. Stream Elements is using maybe 2 to 4% of my resources, whereas Twitch was using between 40 and 60%. And so now if I switch my i5, because I picked your brain about that i5 and that i7, and so I looked into it, and if I switch to my i5, I'll get a 27% performance boost. So that's what I'm going to do in the meantime. Yeah, me too. I mean, that's the one that a bunch of you guys suggested right off the bat. And so I've been using Stream Elements for this whole year. And so I'm working on rebuilding my streams. And so once I stick my i5 in this rig, I'll get another 27% performance boost. And so I'll be in good shape until I get a new PC. And so that's what I'm going to use my subs for, is to finance a better PC. And so I can really kick out some freaking cool media, man, if I had the juice, you know. I can't win the race without a Corvette, you know. So, dude, it's freezing up here. What's the weather? Yeah. I've got an i5. It's just sitting there collecting dust, you know. And for now, that's you know, yeah. Penny increase. And Big Holmes, what are you guys up to today? Vampire Woman, what's happening? Good afternoon. Whoa. Ringing in my ears. It's the sound of fairies. Me, I'm checking out these freaking crazy cams, man. I'm trying to keep my chat in one place so I can see you guys. This is some stuff right here, man. And so I'm just chilling at home, you guys. I'm chilling here in my treehouse, watching the news. And I figure if I'm sitting here by myself drinking some coffee, you guys know the story. It's like just chatting, so I'm chilling, drinking some coffee. I might play a Battlefield game sometime today, but I'm like kicking it. I'm doing nothing. Who knows, maybe I'll sketch some trolls or something. Rawl, it's always so super good to see you, man. What did you guys eat today? I had Pop-Tarts. You just can't freaking beat a good Pop-Tart. Good to see you all. Dude, right on, man. Pizza, awesome. I can't wait. I'm gonna get some pizza probably Monday. Hell yeah. Dude, I'm looking forward to I want to see you play your freaking crazy survival game, man. Dude, I will never forget the time I was watching you streaming Raw. And you took the car and you drove it to the side of the house. You got on top of the car. There was a big freaking gnarly alien in the house, right? Like a boss fight or something. He was hardcore. And you're sitting in, you're shooting through the window and he can't get you. Where anybody else would have just went in the house and tried to take him on. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's genius. I was like, holy shit. And so, yeah, I remember that. So if ever the opportunity arises, I'll try to do something similar. Yeah, that was really cool. That's the thing, man. I'll tell you what, I've never seen anybody do that because most people would go in the house and like chuck grenades and try to like fight the guy. And I was like, shit, you didn't even take a scratch. I was like, that's fucking smart, man. Yeah, it was a good gaming moment. I enjoyed that thoroughly. That's a cool game too. And I'm doing pretty good today, you guys. It's super bright out. It looks like an awesome day, but it's freaking freezing outside up here in Pennsylvania. And I'm watching these Ukraine cams, and it's freaking sad. It's scary that we're sitting here and there's another country going to attack another country, and I'm not someone who politics is poison, and people are going to die because of it. It's insane. Oh man, I'm sorry. That sucks. I don't have costochondritis attacks very often. Yeah. 100% achievement. Awesome. Heck yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of fishing around for a new, probably newer, older game to play. Oh, you know what I want to play, man? Raul, have you ever played, and I've never played it. Maybe, I bet you Big Holmes probably has with his brother. I want to play that, Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam, the Vietnam DLC for it. Really, I want to play the Vietnam. I never got to finish Battlefield Vietnam, the original one that came out 15 years ago. But I saw that and it just looks really cool. I wanted to play some Vietnam era something. I've had Battlestar Galactica Deadlock for a long time. I've had it for like a year, but I haven't played it yet. Yeah, I bet you he has. Yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah, I think he has. Right on. Holmes, how are you guys doing with COVID over there? I'm not leaving the house. Right now I've got one person who's allowed in here. Yeah, the Vietnam one, dude. Yeah, the Battlefield Vietnam was amazing. I fried a motherboard on that game. No shit. I was sitting there late one night in my room. I was living up in Hershey, and I'm playing Battlefield Vietnam for the first time. Just picked it up at the little local PC store. All the COVID rules are gone in the UK, man. You guys had it the worst for a long time. And so I'm sitting there playing Battlefield Vietnam. Screen goes black. I smell a little bit of cigarette smoke. I look down. I see little puffs of smoke coming out of my tower. I pop the case. I look at the tower. Those little silver transistors, the little square, little tiny chiclets, are like starting to melt down my motherboard. That motherboard was gone. I had to go buy another motherboard and everything. Battlefield Vietnam. I had the graphics cranked up, man. It freaking looked amazing. Conflict Vietnam. Just something different. I'm loving the sci-fi. It's just I'm always looking for something that is for me, you know? And I love Battlestar Galactica, but the Deadlock game is very turn-based strategy, and so it's moving pieces around space. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Holmes. A bunch of you guys, shit, half of you guys that come in here into the Shield Wall channel and hang out, you guys are all from the same area in the UK. A lot of you guys, and all you guys got hit hard for a long time, like worse than we had it here. Gettysburg, where I live here on the battlefield, I live on the Gettysburg battlefield. This is a small town of like 6,000 people, but we have 1,000, 2,000 tourists a day. And so they bring COVID here. But there's this Gettysburg, and Gettysburg battlefield is a population of 6,000. But in this rural county, we have 18,000 cases of COVID-19. There's no big cities here. It's a lot of COVID for a small rural county. And so I'm playing it safe, is what I'm trying to say. You can go outside even if you have COVID. I have to be very careful. Yeah, 18,000 cases just in this county. And there's no big cities in this county. But we have 4 big cities within an hour in each direction. But tourists come here. There's tourists out there today and tour buses on the battlefield. It doesn't matter if there's snow, there's always tourists here. So I'm going to the store once or twice a week, and that's about it. And so I'll be living on Twitch, man. Living on Twitch. Right on, Ryko. Ryko, I don't think I'll forget what you said last night when you rolled into chat. because you took the words right out of my mouth when you were saying, in this day and age, it's unbelievable what's happening. And so I was looking at some of this stuff, and I hate politics. I don't practice the religion of politics, but it's not going to stop me from looking at what the hell's happening in the world and commenting about it. You guys, I am curious, what is your opinion, or what do you know? Can you share with me why Putin is invading the Ukraine? Because I'm still searching for a solid answer. And I've been watching dozens of videos this morning, and that's why I hopped on to Twitch, because I'm not going to watch videos by myself. He wants to rebuild the Soviet Union, yeah. Right. That's what I gathered. That's part of it. I think there's a lot more. You know, and I have to be the devil's advocate. I have to be the devil's advocate. When I heard Putin this morning saying, rise up against your neo-Nazi government, he's calling the Ukrainians neo-Nazis. Why is he calling them neo-Nazis? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I'd like to hear yeah, that too. You were mentioning that last night. There's got to be a lot of factors. Yet at the same time, I'm looking at the fact that his government supports him, or he wouldn't be able to roll in there. It's not a dictatorship. He's got support for his choices. You know, so I'm just like, why? I just think it's, for me, I don't know. Call me an optimist, but you know, I'd love to hear his side of the story. They're going up. Yeah. Yeah. I was wondering that myself, Reiko. Radiation levels are going up at Chernobyl. I had no idea. I'm unattached from most of the news that goes on in the world. I always reach out to my friends for news. That's why I know from you guys that the world is really flat. I knew it all along. You guys confirmed it. And the Vikings invented peanut butter. Everybody knows this. Radioactive part off the topsoil into the air. Dude, that's scary. Did you guys ever see the film with Charlton Heston called The Day After? When I was a kid, that was the scariest movie on TV. Two suggestions: buy two things, ammunition and seeds. Yeah, you should see it. That's what we grew up with. The Day After. Nuclear war between Russia and the United States back in the 80s. When I was a kid, we were getting under the desks in school as if that was going to save us, right? Just think all the illnesses that we could cure with the money we're spending on figuring out new ways to kill each other. The elephant's foot. I live about a half an hour away from 3 Mile Island. If you guys remember the meltdown of 3 Mile Island, I think it was back in the 70s. I had a girlfriend that worked there. She did their accounting or something. It was years ago. I had no idea. You know, I don't see much war happening on any of these cams. I got a ton of cams keyed up. Let's see what I can find here. Yeah, I'm just chilling watching these cams. Just got to see some war. My freaking morbid freaking curiosity, I guess. I don't know. Honestly, man, I'm terrified for these folks, man. Could you imagine? I'm sure it's crossed you guys' minds. What if we were them? Because what I'm looking at right now is a freaking blackout, right? Yep, looks like a blackout to me. Because these very same cams that we're looking at right now are the same cams that we were looking at last night. And those 3 cams in the top and the bottom left, those cams were lit up. Now those cams are dark. Man seeds his own destruction, you ain't kidding. Yeah, that's the thing. Fighting at night. We often do. Yeah, we often do. A lot more casualties, though. What's messed up is the, I don't have to tell you guys, I'm just, it's worth repeating, I guess. The civilians involved. That's completely effed up. Civilians have died, apparently. I remember Chernobyl. I remember the Berlin Wall going down. A dear friend of mine was there. Girl I dated in college. She's lived in Germany for the last 30 years. Yeah, and Star Wars, you know, the Star Wars program. We were supposed to not go forward with the Star Wars program. We know that's bullshit. We know we've been going forward with the Star Wars program since shit, the 70s. It was already in place. So we've had Star Wars this entire time. 40 soldiers to triple digits. Yeah, it's gonna escalate. I don't know what to think of our leadership. We could find out what he has to say if you guys are interested. I was gonna share some videos, and please feel free to comment. And my opinion, of course, is my heart's totally with the people there, the citizens. Yeah. I've been to Ronald Reagan's house. It was a tiny little white house in the middle of nowhere in the cornfields in northern Illinois where he grew up. We went there for a school field trip. It's about a mile away from John Deere's original foundry. Yeah. Let's see what we got. All right. We got cartoons. I don't want to miss the war. I'm terrible, aren't I? I've got like 20 freaking cams keyed up. Yeah, I want to see this. This should be good. Let's check it out. Yeah. Naked Ray Gun. Yeah, I saw Ronald Reagan's films when I was a kid. What was it? Bonzo Goes to Washington. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Clint Eastwood ran for president. That would scare the shit out of the world. He'd just stare him down, right, with his squinty eyes. Of course they are. They all are. They all are. They're all trained. They've got Hollywood freaking, what do you call it, consultants around all the time. They got a whole team of people telling them what to say. And then they got leaders of corporations telling them what to do. Let's see what we can see, guys. Let's see what we can see. Move you right over yonder. trying to keep my chat open. There we go. Cool beans. Taku, what's shaking? Good to see you. Good to see you, Taku. No, I'm in Gettysburg Battlefield. Yep. Taku, how are you? What's shaking? Good to see you, man. I've lurked in on your streams. Of course you can. Please do. Upcoming war, the war is on. It's unfortunate. And it's probably not the only war that's going on in the world. We're only being shown what our TV is allowing us to see. I realize that. Yeah. American TV, they're not showing us everything. I don't know, man. I hope not. I don't know. I hope not. Is that Russia should not be invading the Ukraine, and we feel sorry for the people of the Ukraine. I would probably say, I don't know. I don't know what I can't speak for everybody in America. I would have to go to everybody's house, knock on their door, and I'd have to ask them, hey, what do you think about this? So there is no general feeling. There is no general feeling in the USA. The only general feeling that there would be is that we think that it's wrong, but I don't speak for everybody in the US. There might be a lot of Russians living in South Chicago that are all for it, you know what I mean? But they're American citizens now. Yeah. Me, I think that they should just leave well enough alone, but if I could have a sit down with the president of Russia and ask him, why are you doing this? That's what I'd like to hear, because I don't think we know the whole story, but I don't know. I think that it's wrong that one country is invading another country. For what reason? You know, at the same time, I have to look at Cuba in the 1960s, okay? Russia was bringing missiles to Cuba. John F. Kennedy went down to Cuba and said, you guys aren't bringing them here or we're going to invade you. Okay, it's similar circumstances. The Philippines, Panama Canal, El Salvador, we did similar actions. The USA did similar things. Yeah. You know, this is exactly like China invading Tibet. Okay, what, back in the 1950s, and the whole world sat by and didn't do a thing. China said Tibet is our natural part of China. They invaded them, took them over, and the world didn't do a thing. And so now people are tossing around the idea that China will probably go for Taiwan, since no one's going to do anything about Russia invading the Ukraine. I think the world will probably put in sanctions against Russia. I don't think there will be a war. I really don't think there will be a war. I think Russia should leave the Ukraine alone, but I'd like to know what the reasons are. If Putin sat down and had a heart-to-heart and said, hey, this is why we're doing what we're doing, then we would see if the guy's really a fascist or what the reason is. I don't know. I mean, for all we know, there are Ukrainian terrorists going into Russia and killing people. We don't know that. You know, like Austria and Hungary in World War I wanted to go in and get Gavrilo Princip for killing the Archduke Ferdinand. They refused. We went to war. I really don't think we'll go to war over it, though. I don't think the U.S. will go to war. But that's my own limited opinion, living isolated up here in my treehouse. which is one of the reasons I wanted to share the cams, so that people like Taku would ask that question. So thank you, Taku. I'm always thinking about tacos, dude. Tacos are the best. Now you see, if everybody sat down and just had tacos, we could work things out. And so let me tell you what's going to happen in the next couple hundred years. In the next couple hundred years, there will be East and there will be West. We'll probably have a couple of wars. We will not annihilate each other. I took a class about this back in the 80s at the Art Institute of Chicago. And it was called Millennium. And what would happen at each millennium. Okay, and it was a projection of the future with multiple outcomes in this course. And one of the outcomes that I liked the most my own personal favorite, was that there eventually would be an East and a West. The Western Hemisphere and the Eastern Hemisphere. Let's say 100 years from now, 200 years from now, 500 years from now. But eventually, overcoming our differences and conflicts and drawing on the strengths of the variety, that's the word I'm looking for, the diversity of the human species, we will become one planet under one government, and we will thrive. The whole world will be one government. We'll start expanding in the galaxy. Need of resources will become a thing of the past. Everybody will have everything they need through technology. I won't be alive to see it, but our great-great-great-grandchildren will. Much like the world government is in the television show The Expanse, that's what I see in the future. That's my own personal painting. Yeah, let's catch up on the chat. Military power would know, right, that I have to say the same thing. That's completely messed up, Raiko. That civilians are being, one country's invading another country in a modern age. It makes us realize we're not so modern after all. That's what you were, yeah, that's what we were talking about last night. Now, the use of gas from the sky. The US does shit like that every day. We just don't know about it. Of course, because that's your, this is a year. My beard was longer. It was twice as long. My beard was like, fuck. My beard was like down to here. But then I cut it off because my daughter was graduating. And so I wanted to look good for my daughter's graduation. And so I cut my beard. And so in another year, my beard will be twice as long. Taku, where do you live, man? You told me before, but I can't remember. I'm curious to hear what my Russian friends think about. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys are safe in Spain. Can I come visit? I'll put myself in a box and I'll send myself to you. It's so pretty there. It's so pretty there. Do you guys still have the laws? Like you guys have the laws. You guys used to have laws in Spain. I love the laws where if somebody wanted unemployment benefits, if somebody didn't have a job, somebody wanted unemployment benefits, in order to get the unemployment benefits, they would go to work for the local government or the state government, say working in the parks, working in a library. And so they're never truly unemployed. If they get any kind of unemployment welfare, you get to work for it. I like that system. People in the United States who are getting unemployment could go and they could work for the Park Service. They could work for volunteer services for the state and local governments and services that are needed in order to be granted their unemployment benefits. I wish I was on a farm, brother, for sure. I would have, if I knew then what I know now, I would have never left the farm. I'd still be living on the farm growing corns and beans. The city wasn't for me. Cheap beer. Listen to this guy. I love it. We have cheap beer, 14 hours of sun per day, right on. Look on the bright side, my friend. Awesome. I have plenty of ammunition. I'm way up here, so I have the high ground. I have a solid steel door, and I have plenty of seeds. I'll be fine up here in my treehouse. I'll be hungry for a couple of months, but eventually the tomatoes will grow. Do you remember that big surprise that we had with 9/11? The whole country stopped, and we're all mesmerized, and we're all looking at the TVs, and we're watching these terrorists hit these buildings. That's exactly what we're doing right now. We're sitting here and we're waiting for the world to stop and say, oh shit. I'm still just flabbergasted that one country would invade another country. And so China invading Taiwan might be next.
I will drink from your skull!
I will drink from your skull! Skull! Here's to you, vampire woman. Thank you. I still have a little bit of coffee left. So where are we going to go, you guys? Let's go somewhere else in the Ukraine. Smoke them if you got them. I have grape cake today. Compliments of Dr. Greenbuds, our in-house pharmacologist. Truly, he's really my doctor. You guys thought I was kidding, didn't you? When Dr. Greenbuds is in the channel. I'm a lucky man. So yeah, I got grape cake. Dude, I will drink from your skull. Skull to you. What is it that we say? The rootless tree falls. Always find your roots, my friends. Rot last tree fall. Rot last tree fall. The rootless tree falls. Find your roots, my friends. Skull. Skull, because we drank out of the skulls of our enemies. But you know what we also did? We used to skin them. We'd cover our saddles with their skin so that every time that we farted, we would be farting on our enemies. My ancestors really did that. I've never done that. But I have drank out of a skull before, but it was made out of wood. Holtzkopf. Vampire woman, thank you. You guys are fun. You guys are a blast. I got grape cake. (27% THC. Rock and roll. So that, my dear, is going into my skull. So skull to you. I got to get new glasses, you guys. I'm getting the freaking Harry Potter glasses, right? But I want the Harry Potter glasses with the plastic that it absorbs the light. And so when you turn the lights off, the Harry Potter glasses will glow like green or blue or purple. Like Donny Osmond's socks. Donny Osmond's socks, punk rock band name of the day. Donny Osmond's socks. Because they're a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll. Big purple hearts if you got the reference. Rock and roll. So, let's find something updated. You love the Osmonds. I love the Osmonds. Everyone loves the Osmonds. We're all Osmonds. And then there's the Bradys next door. Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. Let's see what we got, guys. I want to watch something. Let's watch something insane in the membrane. Yep, that's the ticket. Let's find out what this is all about. And thanks for watching with me, guys. Thanks for being with me. This is a freaking world-changing event. Are you kidding me? I'm just chilling. I'll be sitting here. I'll be spellbound. I'll be magnetized to these cams. I've got like 20 cam feeds all fired up, ready to share and rotate with you guys, right? I'm finally getting to live my dream of being a radio DJ on WLS Chicago, The Loop, with Larry Lujak and Animal Stories. Howard Stern, watch out. Yes. That's how I think this video is. I haven't watched it yet, dude. So we're watching shit for the first time together. I haven't watched this stuff I'm gonna share. So you guys see my first reaction. First ace fighter pilot bullshit. There's been plenty of wars since World War II. Israel in the 70s. That was my kite. I was flying that kite just the other day. Spanish newspaper even claimed the piloted down Su-35 fighters with a MiG-29, 2 Su. That was me. I was playing IL-2 last night. The video posted, is the ghost of Kiev real? There's been no confirmation of the Ukrainian government or its military by any pilot shooting out 6 Russian planes. They be using that propaganda. Ukraine's defense ministry hyped to start an air avenger. Two were downed in a dogfight. Russia's lost over 14 fighter jets. Air-to-air kills are a relatively rare occurrence in modern warfare. Huh. You guys seeing that? Oh, I don't know. You're bad. You're bad. I don't know what you're in reference to, bro. Let's see what we got next. Let me catch up on chat. I missed that. Likely not your bad at all, my friend. Yeah, I haven't seen this stuff at all. So I'm sharing some videos. I was going to watch this stuff, and I didn't want to chill here and watch this stuff alone. So welcome. Welcome, welcome. Donuts for everybody. Yeah, they're saying, Ghost of Kiev is fake. That's what it seems like, yeah. Yeah. Nuts, huh? Crisis. Yeah, I miss donuts. We have a Dunkin' Donuts in town now, but we have two, three really good bakeries right down on the square. The thing is a lot of places are closed in Gettysburg. It's a very touristy little battlefield town, history town. All those extras that you guys see in those historical films, a lot of them come. Hollywood comes to Gettysburg to get their extras. We do reenacting and living history here from all different time periods. World War II, French and Indian War, you name it. And but a lot of the places are closed because there's a college town too. Gettysburg's a college town. A lot of the college kids are staying home. They're not coming back, and so there's no employees. A lot of these places can't get any employees because the college kids are staying home because of COVID. So there's no college kids to work the stores. You know, there's a lot of retirees here. People come to Gettysburg to retire or to go to college. There's not a lot of people that are like, I guess, middle-aged. Huh. So what's next, guys? Let's see what we got on the tube. On freaking wacky warlord vision. Crisis in Ukraine. Live moments. What's going on in live moments? Same old, it's dark. Let's find some more news. This is just what I wanted to see. Right here.
U.S. troops.
Let me key this up. Cool beans. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing this. It's about 5 minutes.
U.S. troops stationed in Europe are on high alert this morning as Russia moves farther into Ukraine. NBC News global security reporter Dan DeLuce joins us now. So, Dan, catch us up here. Where do things stand at this hour in terms
Thanks for
of
watching
how
the news
American
with me, guys.
troops are positioned in Eastern Europe? We know they're not going to go into Ukraine, but what is their job now?
Well, they have a number of missions, and one of them is symbolic, and some of them are concrete. The first is really a message to Russia not to attack NATO and all NATO members, especially those on the eastern flank that border Russia. And some of those NATO member states have very bad history with Russia, and they very much wanted reassurance. And so the U.S. and some other members of NATO have sent forces, troops, helicopters.
That's as far as that will go. We don't want you to touch NATO countries. So you see, there's not going to be a war over the Ukraine, or we'd already be there.
Now, there's also the possibility that some of those U.S. troops, the 82nd Airborne, has elements in Poland. They could be helping with
we don't know what anyone's
likely
going to do.
refugee influx that we could see coming from Ukraine into Poland and into the West. And it's possible the U.S. Soldiers there would help out with that. And then also I should mention, NATO had an emergency meeting this morning, and the officials there reaffirmed that they would continue to flow forces into Eastern Europe to deter Russia from trying in any way to move beyond Ukraine into the east. And there was also an appeal from the Baltic governments to arm the Ukrainian forces as much as possible to help Ukraine defend itself.
So, Dan, just to underscore what we're talking about here, I want to play White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki reiterating the Biden administration's stance on sending troops into Ukraine, as we're just discussing, and then we'll talk on the other side. Let's listen.
We are not going to be in a war with Russia or putting military troops on the ground in Ukraine fighting Russia. The president has been crystal clear and consistent. He is not sending U.S. troops to fight in Ukraine. That has not changed.
So, Dan, a few questions for you here. I mean, picking up on what you were just saying, is there any chance, any indication we could change course on that? Is this solely now about fortifying our NATO allies? But then also, you know, one of the things that we keep hearing from every reporter that we ask on the ground there is, what is this like? Civilians are taking up arms in Ukraine, and we pretty much hear that they're not a match for the Russian army. So if Ukraine is essentially fighting this alone, what does that ultimately mean if we're not going in, if other countries are not going in, and that's what their force looks like compared to Russia's?
I mean, yes, Ukraine is in a very challenging situation. To answer your question, there is no chance at this point that the U.S. or any of the NATO member states are preparing in any way or considering sending forces into Ukraine. That is clear. There is a remote possibility if this conflict continues to unfold and perhaps escalate, there is always the risk of an inadvertent clash or collision where perhaps by accident a stray missile or aircraft or naval warship in the Black Sea has
Lusitania.
some interaction with a U.S. or a NATO aircraft or ship, and there could be a misunderstanding, but there is a communication channel between the U.S. and Russia, and at the moment that's considered to be a remote possibility. But in terms of Ukraine and fighting Russia, they cannot win in a straight head-to-head matchup. That's true. Their military is no match. However, it is possible that they could fight a kind of resistance, depending on where Russia tries to deploy and how much of the territory it tries to control. It's not clear that Russia could occupy or control large swaths of that country without fierce resistance from Ukraine.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.
Thank you. Rock and roll. And then the Ukrainians continue fighting a guerrilla war, and that's when atrocities are committed against them. And then what do we do about that? Joe Biden denouncing Russia's invasion. Meanwhile, on the other side of the universe, you guys like cartoons? I got some good ones.
Even in death, my powers continue.
So that's my, that's the, my background reel.
Come on!
Love that. Before they kick me off. Got some more reels I want to share. Stuff that I was going to watch, guys. Yeah, some freaking shit right there. Let's check this out. Yeah, right there.
This morning, the battle for Kyiv. A Russian missile strikes an apartment building near the airport. Service workers evacuated survivors. The third day of Putin's war. Many are injured or dead in the capital.
War.
We understand that Mr. Putin is a crazy man. He wants to make hell in Kyiv, in Ukraine. We need a help from the West Wall.
Overnight explosions near the city's zoo, according to a local journalist. Fires still burning this morning, and a man rescued after a military vehicle was filmed rolling over a car. Witnesses say it was a Russian tank. NBC News has not independently confirmed that. Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky defiant, showing he's still in the capital, refusing to leave the country. We won't lay down arms, we will defend our country, he says, in a selfie video recorded outside his office. While in New York on Friday, Russia vetoed a United Nations Security Council resolution that condemned the country's invasion of Ukraine, drawing a scathing response from the U.S. ambassador to the UN.
You can veto this resolution, but you cannot veto our voices. You cannot veto the truth, and you will not veto accountability.
Back in Kyiv, as civilians take up arms, prepared to defend their country, some families are leaving, many by car and others by train. Thousands trying to get out. Officers fired warning shots to disperse the crowd. For others, the city's metro has become a shelter, terrified residents hoping for safety.
This is scary. It is scary. Everyone should be scared.
A city official tells me they believe there are armed groups of Russians moving about the city. It's a situation that seems to be deteriorating quickly. Peter and Kristen.
Aaron McLaughlin, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite.
You're welcome. So I wanted to see that. What else we got?
According to Ukrainian armed forces, Russia was not able to overtake the city of Kyiv tonight. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said tonight hundreds of Russian soldiers have lost their lives while at the same time losing soldiers of their own. Throughout the early hours in Ukraine, the fight was in the streets. Take a listen. This video showing the exchange of gunfire breaking out in Ukraine's largest city. The battle lasting throughout the night, but the city does remain in Ukraine control. In a new video, Zelensky looks to dispel rumors of the opposite.
Всім доброго ранку, українці.
New tonight, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky vowing to stay in the capital city of Kyiv as Russian troops draw near. Posting this video an hour ago from central Kyiv, the president says, "There's a lot of fake information online that I call on our army to lay down arms and that there's an evacuation." On Thursday, Zelensky warned he and his family were Putin's top two targets as his counterpart looks to topple the government.
Все це будемо захищати.
"I'm here. We won't lay down our arms. We will defend our state."
He's made clear that he's still in Ukraine, proudly and courageously standing up in the face of the Russian attack.
Sirens sound as explosions are heard moving closer and closer to the country's largest city. Ukraine continues its fight with Russia, defending their homeland.
Ukraine is fighting back. They are defending themselves.
But it may not be enough. So far, hundreds of casualties have been reported, with soldiers lying lifeless and buildings in Kyiv hit with shelling split in half. It's an invasion being seen by the world. This video going viral showing a Russian tank making what looks like an intentional maneuver to crush a passing car. Bystanders rushing to save the driver, who seems to somehow survive after his car was flattened. In the latest round of sanctions against Russia, the European Union and the United States both authorizing sanctions against members of the Kremlin and its top leader.
President Putin and Foreign Minister Lavrov are in the list of sanctioned people.
The United States will join them in sanctioning President Putin and Foreign Minister Lavrov and members of the Russian National Security Team.
For the first time in history, NATO activated its response force. The special force made of international air, ground, and sea military members are on standby as a deterrence to what officials call Putin's threats to international peace. Should Russia threaten a NATO nation, the force can deploy quickly.
One of the reasons we're doing this is because we want to make it clear to him that we will defend every inch of NATO territory.
It is important to note U.S. and NATO troops are not expected to enter Ukraine to fight off the Russian advancement. Instead, they're protecting NATO countries nearby, of which Ukraine is not a member of. Thousands of citizens fled the capital, but tonight the country's defense leaders are still instructing their citizens to take up arms and make Molotov cocktails to keep the Russians away. Of course, we'll keep you updated with the very latest. And I do want to mention here, according to Reuters, President Biden has now instructed the U.S. State Department to release some $350 million in aid to help assist Ukraine as they continue their fight against Russia. Reporting live in the newsroom, Pedro Rivera, KTLA 5 News.
Pedro.
Shit, I only need 2,000 for a wheelchair. Send the president a postcard. So yeah, this looks really interesting. Let's watch these cats do their thing.
They look like the military. They train like the military. But these men say they are not part of Ukraine's official armed forces. They're paramilitary.
Право, переміщайся. Не стій на місці ніколи.
Remnants of the national volunteer movement that bolstered the Ukrainian army against Russia-backed separatists in 2014.
Виходимо.
In the last 8 years, the government has tried to integrate fighters known as volunteers into the military's official ranks. And officials in Kyiv insist they no longer operate on the front lines. But with fears growing of an imminent invasion, we spent several days with these paramilitary fighters, who seem to be operating there unofficially.
Давайте якось, будемо організованіше.
We wanted to understand the role they could play in a new escalation with Russia, and the risk they pose to a government that doesn't want to provoke Moscow.
Не дай бог, завтра начнется полномасштабная война в Украине, то таких как я, как вот пацаны, добровольцев, будут десятки тысяч, может даже сотни тысяч, как и в 2014 году.
Yuri Olshin goes by the call name Greek, and Ruslan Polstovoy goes by Spider. They're battle-hardened veterans who command a paramilitary unit of about a dozen fighters in southeast Ukraine. Both men joined the armed forces in the early years of the war. But they left, frustrated with the chain of command and orders not to return fire. They say they want to fight aggressively and on their own terms.
Там посадка противник, сепаратист. Russia.
Так, тільки попереджую, в мене прав немає. Я без прав їжджу. Принципово.
Ukrainian law prohibits independent armed groups from entering the conflict zone. Even so, on a drive to the front lines, these guys breeze through military checkpoints.
Так, і то, ті всі машини наші, другі 4 машини. Дякую. Сюди вже тільки заїжджають ті люди, які вже тут працюють. Ми тут працюємо вже 6 років чи 7.
They take us to an open field where they say Russia-backed separatists fly surveillance drones to guide attacks.
Противник не спить, не дремле, тому вони часто сюди пускають свої дрони. Нам приходиться тут з ними боротись.
The fighters say they use this jammer to bring down enemy drones.
Це він шукає дрони. Засікає ціль.
It's a device that finds the target and displays its location.
Засікли, зажали його і ждемо, коли вже вона тягне орієнтацію і починає принижитись. І вже потім далі вже починав розстрілювати з автоматів.
Spider is using the same technology in this video, filmed near the site of an artillery attack on Ukrainian armed forces last May.
Давай, работай, братан. Левее, брат, левее. Мама мия, блин, пацаны лишь бы живи были.
The battlefield looked very different when Greek and Spider first joined a civilian armed resistance in 2014. They appeared in videos from the early years of the war. Back then, it was open street battles, and Greek and Spider were part of volunteer battalions that were hailed as the country's first defenders. Some battalion members were accused of harassment, torture, and attacks on civilians. And some members held neo-Nazi views. According to Greek, only a small fraction of members shared those views. The majority, he says, just wanted to defend their country. Inside Greek and Spider's headquarters, the walls bear insignia of volunteer units formed over the years. In many ways, a reminder that this grinding war is their life.
Будь ласка. Це тяжкий камінь, який знаходиться тут у кожного, хто знаходиться на війні. Це великий тягар.
Today, sources familiar with these groups estimate there are dozens, if not hundreds, of fighters like Greek and Spider operating at the front lines. Greek and Spider take us to an official military command post to show us how they coordinate with soldiers. But they ask us not to refer to them as volunteers in our
just like state and local militias that we still have here.
Under Ukrainian law, unofficial fighters like them are not allowed to be here. And he doesn't want to put the local commander in an awkward position. When we arrive, both groups appear to be familiar with each other.
Юрій Батькович, жаркое може?
Та він би таки що похавав би.
Какая ситуация у вас?
По фронту, да? Или тут в стране в нашем?
Столовой.
Столовой все стабильно.
Точно?
The commander tells us his brigade collaborates with fighters like Greek and Spider.
Хлопці, які, допустим, у них є безпілотні аеророзвідку проводять нам. Я попросив, вони прилетіли там, допустим, над ворогом, вони там якийсь район мені засняли, да? Поділилися інформацією, я вже знаю, де що, там, вірніше, коротше, вже свої плани планую.
Noticeably, the commander avoids calling them volunteers.
Тут, на даний час, нас на території, лінії нашої оборони, добровольських військ немає. Чисто Збройні Сили України.
Back in the car, Spider reflects on the visit.
Все командиры групп для журналистов подготовлены уже к тому, что добровольцев на фронте нет. Вот вы, чтобы вы понимали. Им нельзя говорить, потому что они все госслужащие, и все несут за это одну ответственность.
The official line from Kyiv, hundreds of miles from the front line, is that paramilitary fighters do not exist here. While the threat of an invasion looms, officials worry that any uncontrolled activity risks an escalation with Russia. Politically, these fighters pose a liability. When we push the Ministry of Defense and the Intelligence Agency for more answers about Greek and Spider's status, they decline to comment.
You have that many militias with that many varied views, that's a dangerous recipe.
Понятно, що Росія потужна армія, у них там 2 мільйона, 3 мільйона вони можуть мобілізувати. Так, у них там 10 тисяч танків. І ми готуємось к битві. Вони можуть пройти далеко, можуть зайти. Но далі вони тут і залишаться, понимаєте?
But they say they are eager to fight.
Мы уже готовы давно, много лет. Мы просто ждем.
And are preparing for a larger war with Russia.
Це наша земля, це наш дом, нам йти нікуди. Ви розумієте? Нам звідси йти нікуди. Тому і вперед.
That was interesting. Thanks for watching with me.
Ukrainian
Another news article. Cams are dark.
Both of these soldiers are near Kyiv tonight, where Russian paratroopers are on the move. On one hand, they're very proud to be defending their country, but on the other, they also know they're massively outgunned.
We are in the position right now, expecting the assault.
Right on.
Serge Velenchensky is one of the thousands of Ukrainian citizens being called up to war. He's protecting infrastructure in the capital city.
We are on alert all the time. We are motivated. We will fight. We will resist.
The question, though, is for how long? Russian troops are bearing down on Kyiv and bringing with them tremendous firepower, anticipating an easy victory.
We all bought machine guns and weapons and cartridges. No one is afraid. No one will abandon their homes. No one will flee.
We are preparing to be engaged soon.
Lieutenant Denis Antipov's airborne unit got the call to duty just yesterday. He believes that Ukrainian forces can do well on the ground.
We need strong air support. We need anti-aircraft launch pads. We need anti-aircraft missiles.
They also need protective gear for the scores of volunteer citizens who've been handed an AK-47 and some ammunition, but little else.
We need equipment because even though our spirit is high, we are ready to fight. We are ready to protect our country.
But Russian planes and helicopters control the skies. So Ukraine now is asking NATO allies to lend a hand there.
Basically to close down the airspace over Ukraine because they outnumber us. And we can't hold out for a long time because it's basically a game of numbers.
And those numbers right now are with Russia, which has committed only about a third of its well-trained soldiers to the fight.
So Ukrainians will like what GOP Representative Adam Kinzinger of Illinois is pushing tonight. He wants the U.S. and NATO to enforce a no-fly zone over Ukraine, which in his words would make it more of a fair fight. From the News Center, I'm Rick Chambers. Chair, back to you.
All right.
En la capital de Ucrania se han escuchado explosiones que, según las autoridades locales, se deben a que Rusia trata de atacar una central térmica, mientras que en Basilkov, a unos 37 kilómetros de la ciudad, se libra una dura batalla de acuerdo con las Fuerzas Armadas. Explosiones en Kiev, ¿qué se sabe?, escribió la administración estatal de la ciudad de Kiev en su cuenta de Telegram. Explicó que el enemigo trata de atacar la central CHP-6 cerca de Troyeshana, en el norte de la capital. Las Fuerzas Armadas dan batalla, aseguró, de acuerdo con la agencia de noticias.
Yeah, I just want to see the footage. Yeah, it looked like some good footage.
On the edge of a village about 10 kilometers from the border, a multiple rocket launcher with its designator searching for Ukrainian positions. We return to film it. 200 meters away, Yuri is trying to ignore the war.
Скажите, как обстановка сейчас?
Нормально обстановка.
Не знаю, военных много.
Что-то я их не замечаю.
But it's hard not to notice the constant stream of convoys to the border. Tanks, Grad missiles, many painted with a mysterious Z.
In these areas less than 15 kilometers away from the Ukrainian border, war has taken the inhabitants by surprise in the middle of the night, right after the announcement from Vladimir Putin.
Мне сестра позвонила в полшестого, говорит, Путин объявил, что будет война с Украиной. И через полчаса это все началось. Страшно.
Residents were woken by the sound of helicopters and bombings. They were not told that an offensive was coming. This woman asked to remain anonymous.
Мы ждали объяснений вообще-то каких-то. Чтобы сказали, что да, действительно. Или там не бойтесь, будем стрелять, или там не будем стрелять, или ну, хоть что-то, мы же вообще не видим никакой.
Vladimir Putin has always denied invading eastern Ukraine since the start of the conflict in 2014. He also claimed that the buildup of troops along all accessible borders with Ukraine this year were simply military exercises, right up to the moment of invasion.
Checking out some of these cool stream elements updates. Cool beans.
Once, when a mother was asked, would she send her darling boy to fight, she just answered no. And I think you'll admit she was right.
I didn't raise my son to be a soldier. I brought him up to be my pride and joy. Who dares to put a musket on his shoulder to kill some other mother's darling boy? The nations ought to arbitrate their quarrels. It's time to put the sword and gun away. There'd be no war today if mothers all would say, I didn't raise my son to be a soldier.
All men are brothers. Our country, one world. Glories of war are a lie. If they ask us why, we can tell them that mother's reply.
I didn't raise my son to be a soldier.
Yeah, I think I've seen enough of that. Yeah, my headset's needing to be recharged. So, I'm probably gonna have to swap my sound out just for the note post here. So let's go straight in. Germany is sending, yeah, they are. Yeah, I had a video keyed up about that too, Reiko. Yeah, they sent something to them. Yeah, I saw that as well. And my headset's gonna die on me. I'm gonna have to switch my sound out here real quick. Let's see. Yeah, my sound is gonna die. My headset. Oh, right on. Yeah, so I'll be back in probably a bit. It'd be easier if I just restart my stream because I'd have to reset so many sound settings. So I'm gonna take a break, but I'll be back. I hope to see you guys on Twitch soon. Thanks for kicking it. I'll be back in a while and hope to see you guys, chat with you guys, enjoy your company. And we'll stay updated here on what the heck's going on and watch history unfold in an unfortunate fashion, unfortunately. Wouldn't it be better if we could all get along? Simple as that. Truly. Oh, I'm fine. I just need to reset my cams, make some more coffee. I'll be back in a bit, you guys. I'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in. Keep me posted. I come back to chat. I have some more video I want to watch. I want to keep up with what's going on here. Full-scale invasion of Ukraine. I have a bunch of cams here too as well. And so, here's my sources if you all are interested. Boom. Everything you need to see as long as they are still online. Cool beans. And so, my friends, I'll see you soon. Keep smiling. Please be safe. I'll see you in a bit. Maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. Hopefully before dark. Please be safe. Warlord over and out.